Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bond court is now in session.
All right, good morning. Can I get appearance in case number 2022 CF 7518AO?
Alicia Adamson, present for Mr. Phillips.
All right, and I see that he does have an older case that I'm going to address. In that case number is 22 CF 4611AO.
And yes, we are aware of that case, Your Honor. He got arrested, I think, back in April on that case, and the state still has not filed charges. So I would ask that that you take no action on that case, being that charges have not been, information has not been filed.
All right, let's go ahead and address the first case. I'll do the IA on that and I'll consider the arguments of the state. I find probable cause for trafficking in MDA greater than 10 grams. It was 21.7. As well as possession of cocaine with intent to sell or distribute. I believe they had State, do you want to be heard on these? State, are you any objection to staying those bonds?
No objection.
And what's your position, as Ms. Adamson has argued, on 22 CF 4611 on no filing decision?
Your Honor, formal charges have not been filed. However, it is a cocaine case, which means it has to be sent to FDLE. Unfortunately, it does take more than 30 and sometimes even 60 days in order for drugs to be confirmed as what they are. However, he was still arrested. He was still out on bond and still not to commit any further crimes or at least be arrested for any future crimes. He has violated that, so I ask that you revoke the bond and hold him no bond.
Do you have an estimated time? Has it been sent to the lab or is it still sitting at the police department?
I do not have that information with me right now, Your Honor. If you give me a moment.
And Your Honor, my just response to that would be like, if the state did get, if that is truly what they're waiting on to file the information, and they do file the information, they're always at liberty to file a motion to revoke the bond based on this arrest at the time that information is filed.
And yes, Your Honor, I apologize. I thought you were done.
Those typically will get granted in chambers quickly.
And yes, Your Honor, the package has been given to FDLE.
What date?
May 2nd.
So shortly after the arrest?
Yes, Your Honor, within a week, or shortly after a week.
Based on the facts, he was very cooperative, but he did still violate the conditions of his release. I'm going to give him a new bond, revoke his bond on 2022 CF 4611AO. I'm going to set that bond at the amount, his original bond was 15. I'm going to set that bond in the amount of $75,000 with the condition that you not possess any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. Anything else, Ms. Adamson?
Your Honor, I know the state did agree to stay the bonds as is. I don't know if you'd be willing to entertain a motion to reduce the bond currently at the $50,000. The vehicle, he was cooperative. The vehicle that he got stopped in was not his. He did say the weed I was rolling was mine, but the drugs in the car were not.
Right. Based on the fact that he was aware in the proximity of drugs in the arrest report, I'm going to follow the state's recommendation and stay at 50 because they did with all these facts in both cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Rashad Lewis is next. Appearance in 2022 CF 7515AO.
Alicia Adamson for the record on Rashad Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you were arrested for charges of possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and carrying a concealed firearm. You are entitled to a monetary bond on count 1. Defense, I'll let you go first.
Judge, I just wanted to let the record reflect that this is my client's first arrest. He has no priors, and
You want him on PTR, but I would do drug testing through PTR. Or do you want straight monetary bond?
I'd want a straight monetary bond.
Any suggestions as to straight monetary bond?
Only because of the amount, Your Honor, I would ask for a $50,000 bond.
50,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's 72 grams. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,500. And I'll stay the remaining bonds. So your total bond is $2,950. I am going to give you some conditions. You're not to possess any illegal drugs. Actually, that would affect your work, wouldn't it? I'll give you a moment to confer. I show that he works at Smoke Shack, which I believe is I'll give you a moment to confer about that.
It's just tobacco, Judge, so that's fine.
All right, you're not to possess any illegal drugs, and you're not to have any firearms or ammunition or any other weapons. I'll give you a chance to surrender any weapons within 4 hours of your release from jail. But can he afford that bond? I see he is a first-time offender.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the morning docket with one afternoon move up.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
We are connected.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Karen Vasquez.
Miss Velasquez?
Vasquez.
Do you need a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your criminal charges?
Sí.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. She does not speak Spanish, but she will give you a phone number to call once you're released from jail. You were arrested for a charge of aggravated battery. I'm sorry, strike that. Aggravated assault. It is domestic in nature, as well as battery domestic violence. Is Gilmar Miranda Fuentes present? A response. Ms. Velasquez, you are entitled to a monetary bond. I'm going to order that you not live with the victim anymore. You need to live separately. Where would you live, since you cannot go back and live with Mr. Miranda?
Voy a buscar.
I will look for somewhere.
Okay, do you have any friends or family? Because you're going to need to give them an address of where you live and where you can get mail.
No, no tengo familiar.
No, I don't have relatives.
All right, on count one, I'm setting your bond at $1,000. Count two, I'm setting your bond at $100. You cannot have any contact with the victim, Mr. Miranda. You need to live separately from him. You can go to back to your address, your home, just one time, but you have to have a police officer with you to collect your belongings. After that, you cannot return. And you're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons that you own need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. And again, I'm reminding you to appear for future court dates and stay in touch with your lawyer. Thank you, Ms. Velasquez Miranda.
Your Honor, DCF was contacted regarding this case.
What's your request?
That the defendant comply with any DCF plan should there be one put in place.
I'll court order that. Thank you. So Department of Children and Families, the agency investigating the welfare and well-being of any children are also doing an investigation. So you need to comply with their questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias.
Thank you. Your Honor, I need the case number.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. It is 22 CF 7532.
7532.
All right. That's all we have for the interpreter case. Thanks.
Very well, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
Next, we can go ahead and start bringing in as scheduled and then working in Mr. Kaleta's case as soon as the defendant was brought over. Do you want me to message a downtown judge and let him or her know what's going on?
We had sent an email and left a voicemail, I think, yesterday,
Okay.
so hopefully they would know Mr. Brooks is here.
Where's? All right, Katina Lee, public defender, was appointed. We're going to go ahead, enter a plea of not guilty. Defense counsel, are you waiving her appearance once again?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. After that is Donald Sharp. Are you Mr. Sharp? Mr. Sharp, good morning. You're here in case 2016 CF 181. Do you need a public defender to help you with your violation of probation?
Yes, ma'am.
It's alleged that while you were on probation, you left your residence without the consent of your probation officer, and it was not for work purposes, and that you didn't truthfully answer inquiries made by your probation officer. Do you want me to waive reading on the underlying offense? All right. So you'll remain at no bond, but I do need to advise you that once you do get a bond, Mr. Sharp, you're to comply with all reporting requirements. Thank you.
Sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Are you Franklin Brooks? What's your name, sir? We're trying to work in Franklin Brooks, so Mr. Kaleda. Okay, what's his name? Mr. Walker, good morning. You're here for a charge of battery, domestic violence. Come on forward. Is Ruth Walker present? No response. Mr. Walker, you were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your court case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint them to assist you. Hold on a moment. Good morning. Are you Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in.
You gotta look straight.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Ms. Walker, I'm going to ask you some questions, then the other attorneys will have a chance to. Are you married to Mr. Walker?
Yes.
At the time of this offense, were you living together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
Do you want him to return home?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about your safety or well-being with him living there?
No.
State any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and put you on pretrial release, Mr. Walker. You're to have no hostile contact with Ms. Walker, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they do need to be turned over to the area police department within 4 hours of your release. Ms. Walker, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, he'll be released later on today. Anything else, Mr. Walker? All right, thanks. Defense counsel, if you can go ahead and confer with them afterwards.
Yeah, but you'll be released in a couple hours. You'll be released in a couple hours.
Thank you for pulling this. Appearance for the record, please.
Jack Kaleda on behalf of Mr. Brooks, who stands to my right.
Mr. Brooks, you were arrested for a warrant for battery domestic violence, which was alleged to have occurred on June 23rd. State, have you had any contact with the alleged victim?
Miss Seifert is present, Judge.
All right, ma'am, go ahead, raise your right hand. I'll have you sworn in. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. I'll go ahead and let you inquire.
Judge, you want to ask the same questions?
Sure. Ms. Seifert, how do you know Mr. Brooks?
Oh, I know him since 2016.
And are you in a relationship with him?
Yeah, I married him.
You're married to him?
Yes.
And are you in fear of him?
No, ma'am.
At the time of this offense, back on June 23rd, were you living together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in fear of him at this time?
No.
Would you feel safe if he returned home?
Yes.
State, any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions for this witness?
Ms. Seifert, you and I met yesterday,
Yes.
and I asked you all the same questions the judge just asked you.
Yes.
You have any reservation whatsoever about Mr. Brooks coming home?
No reservation. I just need him home.
And are you in any way afraid or hesitant to have him come home?
No, sir, I don't.
That's all I have, Judge.
Does your client plan on returning to the marital residence? Or
Yes, Judge, he does.
All right, I'll go ahead and put him on straight pretrial release, or do you want monetary bond?
Your Honor, I was going to ask the court to consider an ROR, if not, just a straight monetary bond. Mr. Brooks has never been arrested before.
Sure.
He is now 60 years old, honorably discharged from the U.S. Army years ago.
Can he afford a bond of $100?
He can.
Mr. Brooks, I'm sorry for cutting you off, Mr. Kaleda. I'm going to set your bond at $100, but there are going to be conditions. You're to have no hostile contact with your wife, and you're not to possess any weapons. If you do have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail. Ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you have any questions for me? No. Anything else from councils?
No, ma'am.
Nothing from the state.
John Sanders is next.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sanders is outside medical.
Oh, okay, this is to be reset within 24 hours of his medical release, so we'll keep that going. And he does have a public defender. What's your name?
Arnold Coward. Arnold Coward.
Okay, come on up. Mr. Coward, you were arrested in case number 2022 CF 7537AO for the following charges: battery by strangulation, domestic violence, robbery, sudden snatching, grand theft third degree, criminal mischief, aggravated assault with a firearm, as well as battery. You are entitled to release conditions. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal case?
No.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Sir, you also have an open case with the court date pending. That case number is 2020 CF 12422AO. That's for failure to redeliver a hired vehicle or return one. You have a court date set on June 6th. Even though it's a case stemming from 2020, you're not to commit any new law violations. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and revoke your release and hold you at no bond. In the new case, I'll go ahead and address those bonds. Count one, I'm going to set that bond at $2,500. Count two, $150. Count three, $150. Count four, $150. Count five, $150. And count six, $100. Mr. Coward, you also have a condition that you're not to have any contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. You cannot go where the victim lives, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Any weapons do need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release from jail. After that is Deandra Donald. Thank you. Mr. Donald, good morning. Mr. Donald, do you need a public defender to help you with your add-on charges for 4 counts of contempt of court?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender to assist you with this case. State, do you want to be heard on release, on bond?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, I just asked that you set a reasonable bond.
Give me a moment. On each of those, I'm going to set bond at $150 with the conditions that you have no contact with the victim, Bingham, and that you maintain a separate residence and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. Mr. Donald, do you have any questions? Excuse me? I couldn't hear you.
He was asking if he paid the bond, would he be able to get out, but I think he's being held
Yeah, I
on
think
the
so
no
too.
bond for the, battery. These are contempt for.
All right, thank you. The next person is, last name Florvell.
Hi.
Give me just a moment. Okay. What's your name?
Which got Floville?
All right, you were arrested in case number 2022 CF 7415AO for aggravated assault with a firearm domestic in nature, child abuse, as well as battery domestic violence. At this time, I am going to give you a bond, but do you need a public defender? That's a lawyer to help you with your case.
No,
You plan to represent yourself, sir? Okay, do you have any legal training or education?
no,
And if you're unable to afford the bond, do you know what you would need to do, sir?
excuse me.
If you cannot afford the bond the bond amount, the money amount that I'm going to give you, do you know what to do and what motions to file?
Yeah, I can know.
You know how to do that? Who would you file that with?
I know if I have a bond, I know something.
What? I can't hear you.
If I have a bond, my cousin gonna pay my bond.
Sorry, what did you say?
If I have a bond, my cousin gonna pay the bond for me.
No, the bondsman won't file that. Are you sure you don't need a lawyer who can give you advice in the event that you can't afford bond and they can help you throughout the course of your case? Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Please have him do an application after court. On the aggravated assault with a firearm, I'm going to set that bond at $3,000. On count 2, I'll modify the bond to $150, and on battery, the bond is $100. Your total bond is $3,250. You're to have no contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You need to comply with the Department of Children and Families investigation, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Mr. Florvell, if you do have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release from jail. I'll give you a moment to briefly speak with your attorney. Make sure you contact her after you're released.
Okay.
Ms. Prophet, let corrections and us know who you have, and we'll try to work them in. Thank you. Angela Nagel?
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Morning. Ms. Nagel, you're here for felony case number 2022 CF 7528AO. Do you need a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you with your case? I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause for this offense. Based on the facts of this case, I'm setting your bond at $1,000. You're to have no contact with the alleged victim of this case, Mr. Williams. You must maintain a separate residence. I'm seeing on the police report that you have a different residence. Is that correct? Okay, you cannot go back to where he lives or works. I'm also ordering that you not possess any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to the area police department within 4 hours of your release. And you're not allowed to use any illegal drugs or consume any alcohol. Do you have any questions, Ms. Nagel?
I didn't even hear anything you said.
Okay, I'll go ahead and repeat myself.
Sorry.
Your bond amount is can you hear me now? Your bond amount is $1,000. You're to have no contact with the victim of this case. You need to live separately. You can't go back to where he lives. You following along so far? And you're also not allowed to have any weapons. If you have any, they need to be surrendered to the police department. And finally, you cannot use any illegal drugs or consume any alcohol. You do have a lawyer. Call them when you're released from jail and appear for all future court dates.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Ms. Nagel?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Jared John Williams. Mr. Williams, are you going to need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges, your new arrest?
No.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested for a charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, as well as battery. These offenses were alleged to have occurred on June 5th. State, can you tell me what's going on in this out on bond case? Do you need a case number?
21 CF 15720. When I looked, he has pretrials September 13th.
All right, so one of the conditions of you being on release, Mr. Williams, is that you're not supposed to commit any new law violations and, on the course of your release. So on your case where Mr. Akins represents you, I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond as to all counts. And on the new case, you are entitled to bond on the aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. I'm setting your bond at $2,500, count two, $100, with conditions that you have no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, and that you not have any weapons, which is also a condition of,
Can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear you.
you're to have no contact with the victim. You're not to return to where the victim lives or is known to frequent. You must live separately. And you're not to have any weapons. Your bond is a total of $2,600, but you're no bond on the case where Mr. Akins represents you. Thank you.
No case number?
Francisco Gutierrez. Good morning. Are you Mr. Gutierrez?
I am, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. You were arrested for a crime of battery, dating violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
I had signed for it, yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if you qualify. Let me ask you some
Okay.
Let me ask you some questions, though. Do you work?
Yes, I do.
How often are you paid?
Every 2 weeks.
And what's your take-home pay after taxes and withholdings?
It's a roughly between 900, like 900.
Okay. And do you support anybody?
No,
No dependents?
no.
So based on a $900 every 2 weeks, you do qualify for the services of the public defender. I'll go ahead and appoint them to represent you. Did you and Ms. Franco fly here or drive here?
We drove here together.
All right, so here's the conditions of your release, and I do have to consider the facts of this case and your out-of-state history. I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $1,000. And you're not to possess any weapons. If you do have any weapons here in Florida, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release or 4 hours of your release from returning to your home state in Illinois. You're to have no contact with Ms. Franco, and you must live separately. When you get back to Illinois, you can do a one-time return, show the area police department in Yorkville my court order. They're to escort you to the house, collect your belongings, and after that, you cannot return. Stay in touch with your attorney.
Your Honor, I was going to ask if you would consider a $500 bond. I know because he's out of state, he's going to have to put up the entire amount. I believe he's not going to be able to use the bail bondsman, and I don't see any type of violent history.
He's out of state, so I doubled a standard M1 bond on a battery charge, and he does have some history. So I am concerned about that.
I know, you're going to have to call the attorney to see what they can do if you can't afford it.
So is that 10% of this?
No.
Antonio Ortiz is next.
Hello?
Are you Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, I'm Mr. Ortiz.
Good morning, Mr. Ortiz. You were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Are you going to need a lawyer to help you with your case from the public defender's office?
I mean, a public defender would be.
Is that a yes? Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender to help you. You are entitled to a bond, but you do have an open case. State, what do you want me to do on the case where he's already on PTD? 21 CF 9309.
At this time, Your Honor, you can take no action. I'm sure that they will make whatever changes is necessary in the future.
Anything from defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'll take no action on the out on bond, but I am going to give you a higher bond on the battery domestic violence charge. You do have a condition that you are being released from jail, but you're to commit no new law offenses. I'm setting your bond at $2,000 on the battery charge. You're to have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. allow one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer and surrender any weapons within 4 hours of your release from jail. That should conclude your case. Thank you. Brentley Robinson is next. Good morning. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Ma'am, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence, which was alleged to have occurred on June 19th. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. You're to have no contact with the victim, no return to the scene of the crime. You must maintain a separate residence, and you're not allowed to have any weapons or firearms. If you do, they should be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release from jail. Next person is Stephanie Rosenthal.
Excuse me, you speak in Spanish?
Nobody's, I can get a Spanish interpreter. What?
Yes,
are,
please.
Are you Wilmer Penula?
Yeah,
You need a Spanish interpreter?
yes, please.
Are you Miss Rosenthal?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Ricardo Morales, Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Can you please, this is for the witness in the inbox, please ask him to raise his right hand.
Por favor, levante la mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give today is the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura solemnemente que el testimonio que prestará el día de hoy será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí, juro.
Yes, I swear.
Miss Rosenthal, do you need a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office?
Miss Rosenthal, usted requiere a un abogado de la Oficina de Defensores Públicos para que le represente en su caso.
Yes, please.
I don't know if you qualify.
Okay.
Sí, por favor.
How often are you paid at your job?
Weekly, maybe like 600, 800 right now.
¿Con cuánta frecuencia le pagan a usted en el trabajo? Semanalmente, cerca de $600, $800 semanales.
Do you support your baby and your husband?
No, well, not.
Or do you support your baby as well as Mr. Penula?
Yeah.
¿Sustenta tanto a su bebé como al señor Penula? Sí.
She qualifies now, right? I'll appoint a public defender to help you.
Thank you.
Designaré un defensor público para que le asista.
Sir, what is your name?
Wilmer
Señor,
Alberto,
¿cuál es su nombre?
Wilmer Alberto Gutiérrez Peñuela.
Wilmer Alberto Gutiérrez Peñuela.
And how do you know Miss Rosenthal?
¿Cómo conoce usted a la señora Rosenthal?
Nos conocemos desde Miami cuando vivía en el mismo edificio con ella hace 2 años y medio.
I know her because we have been living back in Miami for 2.5 years.
Do you have a baby together?
¿Usted tiene un hijo en común?
Sí,
Yes.
Do you want to continue to live with her?
¿Usted quiere continuar conviviendo con ella?
en el momento nos movimos de Miami, ella está viviendo con la mamá temporalmente porque la mamá regresa a New Jersey, entonces pues ella no tiene aquí donde quedarse, entonces pues sería que ella estuviera en casa con la mamá. Y
Un moment, sir. Un momento, señor. At the moment, she's currently living with her mom. She is moving back to Jersey. She has nowhere else to live. So at this time, she's living with her mom.
Here in Orlando?
Aquí en Orlando.
Sí, en Orlando están en una casa, entonces pues sería que ella estuviera ahí, que si sale, estuviera ahí con ella de la mejor manera, porque yo me estoy quedándome en una habitación por todos estos inconvenientes.
Moment. Well, yes, in Orlando. So thing is that I would like her to continue living there with her mom at the best way possible because right now I'm living in a separate room due to these problems.
So you're living with the mom too in Orlando?
¿Usted vive con la mamá también en Orlando?
No, yo cuando llegué a Orlando iba a convivir con ella y todo, pero a raíz de todos estos inconvenientes de ira y todo, entonces tuve que separarme por un bien para todos.
No. When I got here, I was supposed to live with her, but due to these issues of anger, I had to live separately.
So you have a place here in Orlando too?
Así que usted tiene un lugar en Orlando de usted.
Me estoy quedando en casa de un conocido por unos días mientras consigo mi propio lugar.
I'm staying at this moment at an acquaintance's house while I find a place to live.
Do you want contact with her?
¿Usted quiere mantener contacto con ella?
Lo más importante es que creo que ella tome la ayuda necesaria para todo lo que está sucediendo alrededor de ella y pues poder hablar en buenos términos por el bebé que está recién nacido. Yo no quiero que ella esté lejos del bebé, pero que esté en un buen sentido.
Momento, señor. I think that the most important thing is for her to get help and the help that she needs for the good of everyone. And I want everything to be in good terms for the sake of the baby. I don't want her to be away from the child. I just want her to get the help she needs.
So forgive me for asking this again, but do you want her to be able to communicate with you by phone or in person, yes or no?
Perdone que le pregunte nuevamente, pero quiero preguntarle si usted desea mantener contacto con ella en persona o por teléfono, sí o no.
Sí, sería bueno tener contacto, sí.
Yes, it would be fine to have contact with her.
Is Elva Munoz her mother-in-law, her mother?
¿Es Elba Muñoz su madre?
La mamá de ella.
Her mom.
And that's who she was living with here in Orlando. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Y es con ella, con la persona que ella ha estado viviendo aquí en Orlando, ¿sí o no?
¿Yo o ella?
Me or her?
So that Elva is Stephanie's mother, is that correct?
Yeah.
Sí,
And-
Elba es la mamá de Stephanie, correcto.
Sí, la mamá.
And she was living with her mother, correct?
Y ella estaba viviendo con su mamá,
Sí,
correcto.
ella está viviendo con la mamá porque la mamá está temporalmente por el nacimiento del bebé.
Yes, she's currently living with her mother temporarily due to the baby.
State, any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any
¿Alguna
questions for
pregunta?
this witness?
No, Your Honor.
¿Alguna pregunta por parte de la Fiscalía o la Defensa? Ninguna, señoría.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. All right. Ms. Rosenthal, here are your conditions of release. You're to have no contact with Elva Munoz. You must maintain a separate residence from her. You're not allowed to go back to where she is living, except with the one-time exception of with the police officer.
Excuse me.
Un momento. Can you break that down, Mr. Interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. Estas son las condiciones para usted, señora Rosenthal. No puede tener contacto con la señora Elba Muñoz. Debe mantener una residencia separada, en este caso, y se le permitirá solamente regresar en una sola ocasión acompañada de la fuerza policial.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons. If you have any, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release.
Usted no puede tener ningún tipo de arma. De tener algún arma en posesión, deberá entregarlas dentro del periodo de 4 horas de su puesta en libertad.
You're not allowed to consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia.
Usted no puede consumir alcohol, sustancias controladas y tampoco puede poseer adminículos de la droga.
I don't know where you're going to live if you cannot live with Miss Munoz.
No sé dónde irá a vivir usted si no puede vivir con la señora Muñoz.
As far as you're to have no hostile contact with Wilmer Penula,
Habrá una orden de no contacto hostil con el señor Wilmer Penula.
I will give you a bond of $500 plus PTR on count one.
Fijaré la fianza en $500 y libertad provisional en la acusación número 1
And straight PTR on count two.
y libertad provisional directa en la acusación número 2.
Based on the facts of this case, you're going to be tested for drug use.
Basado en los hechos de este caso, usted se le realizarán pruebas aleatorias para droga.
Testing can begin anytime after August 1st.
Las pruebas aleatorias pueden comenzar en cualquier momento después de la fecha de agosto 1.
The state of Florida's Department of Children and Families is also involved in this case. You need to comply with their investigations.
El Departamento de Familia del Estado de la Florida también está involucrado en este caso y usted debe seguir cualquier orden que ellos dictaminen.
Mr. Panula, these are conditions that I've imposed on Ms. Rosenthal.
Señor Penula, estas son condiciones que he impuesto en el caso de la señora Rosenthal.
If you have any questions about your, about being a victim of this crime, contact the state attorney's office.
Si usted tiene alguna pregunta con relación a ser víctima de este caso, por favor, comuníquese con la oficina de la Fiscalía.
And she has an attorney to ask any questions of.
Y ya cuenta con un abogado a quien se le puede hacer preguntas.
Thank you. That concludes the case.
Gracias. Esto concluye el caso el día de hoy.
Okay, and Your Honor, did you, I missed it, did you give her a grace period for the drug testing?
I did,
Okay, thank you.
August 1st.
August 1st, this week.
But as
Your
an
Honor-
aside, with the newborn baby and the facts of this case,
Yes.
she probably wants to get clean soon.
Your Honor, may the interpreter ask for the case number?
22 4353AO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Sorry for the wait. Can you tell me what your name is?
Richard Russell.
Mr. Russell, you're here for a new case as well as an old case. Your new case is number 22 4357. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause. I'm also going to address an out on bond case where you have an upcoming court date on the 22nd of July for assault. You have a public defender already in case 2022 1389AO.
I thought that case was thrown out. That's what my bondsman told me.
Well, your bondsman misinformed you. You have a pretrial conference on July 22nd. I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond on that case because the condition of your release is that you not commit any new law violations. This is the same victim. On the new law case, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. No contact with Ms. White. You're not allowed to have any weapons, and you must maintain a separate residence. Thank you, sir.
But can I get my stuff? She stole my wallet and my,
I'm going to deny that request.
I need my stuff. I can't even pay for nothing now. She got it.
Belton Wilcox is next. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Wilcox.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You're here in case number 2021 5368AO. Sir, you were arrested for a crime of battery dating violence that was alleged to have occurred back on August 3rd of 2021. Do you need a public defender to help you with this case?
Yes, ma'am, I would assume so right now at this moment. I didn't even remember the case.
All right, it was alleged with Deborah Staples as the victim. I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I do find probable cause. I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $500. You're to have no contact with Ms. Staples. You must maintain a separate residence, and you're not to have any weapons. If you do own any weapons, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail.
Yes, ma'am.
It's No return. I'll give you a one-time return to where she's living to collect your belongings, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir. Is this your client, Ms. Prophet?
I'm gonna wait to the end. My client starts at 1:30.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir.
I think we have probably about 10, 15 more minutes. All right. What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Dwayne Richardson.
Mr. Richardson, you're here for a warrant for a violation of probation. This is a probation out of Osceola County. You'll be held at, your bond is $2,500. Do you feel like you need an attorney to help you with your case?
I have an attorney, ma'am.
Okay. Can you afford the $2,500 bond?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Gregory Royster is next. Are you Mr. Royster?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here for a warrant out of Pinellas County, Florida, for a charge of a violation of probation with the underlying offense of kidnapping. You'll be held at no bond. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office while you're in Orange County Jail before you get okay, thank you. Anastasia Theodoro Popoulos. And what happened to Santos Melendez? Thank you. What's your name, sir?
Wesley Brand.
Mr. Brand, good morning. You're here in case number 2020 CF233AO for a violation of probation where you're being held at no bond because of the new law offenses that you're in jail for. Do you need a public defender on your violation of probation?
Can I say something, Your Honor?
You may, everything you say is being recorded and your statements can be used against you. Do you want to talk to your attorney?
I've already spoken to him, Your Honor. He wants to talk about bond.
Bracelet or something.
What?
I got a 4-year-old child, a 4-day-old child, and my girl like had a C-section. So I was wondering, can I get a bond or like house arrest or anything like to get home? Cause my child only 4 days old, she can't do nothing, cause she had a C-section.
Okay. I'm going to deny that request. Thank you. You'll remain at no bond. Tyler Fight. Good morning. Are you Mr. Fight?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case 2022 CF2130 for an armed trespass violation of probation. It's alleged that you committed an act of battery domestic violence, so you remain at no bond. Do you need a public defender to help you with your violation of probation?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
They'll assist you. Thank you. After that, I have Joseph Perez. All right, reset to within 24 hours of his medical release. And is this Michael Thomas? Are you Mr. Thomas?
How you doing?
Excuse me, what's your name?
Michael Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, you're here in case number 2022 MM1893AO. You're here for a violation of probation. The underlying offense is violation of pretrial release domestic in nature. It's alleged that you committed a new act of violation of pretrial release on June 24th, and that you had contact with the alleged victim as prohibited. You're now being held at no bond status. And then you also have a violation of probation, same allegations, but that's for the underlying offense of battery domestic. You'll remain at no bond on all of these cases. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Okay, I'm going to do 33-day motions, and then we'll talk about the afternoon docket. Is there any way we can move up Ms. Prophet Adamson's case? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Ready on the 33 days, everybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
2022 CF 6169AO You're here, Raymond Bernard Brisbane, motion for ROR, 33rd day is the 1st.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Was that filed today or yesterday?
That was filed yesterday, Your Honor.
After that, I have Jose Luis Colon, 33rd day was the 22nd in case number 2022 CF 5798.
Denied, information was filed.
Followed by Chance Ezekiel Biles Johnson. Mr. Johnson's case number is 2022 CF 6168AO.
Denied, information was filed.
Followed by Delance Sheila, case number 2022 CF 6030AO.
Denied, information was filed.
Krishna Manuel Barnes, Mr. Barnes' case number is 2022 CF 6142AO. 33rd days today. I see an information has been filed, so I'll deny that. Anybody in objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, after that is Eric McCray. Mr. McCray's case number is 2021 CF 15730AO.
One moment, Your Honor, I just need to double check something.
On which case?
The one you just said,
Right.
Eric McCray.
I see a no information has been filed. Should I grant that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Followed by Samantha Lynn Fox, case number 2022 CF 4282AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
And I have a few more. Latarius Terrell Oliver, his case number is 2022 CF 6198AO.
9-8.
98. I see a no info has been filed as of yesterday. Should I grant this?
I need to double check that, Your Honor. That's not the number that was on my list.
You want me to read back the number?
No, Your Honor. I do see that no information was filed.
All right, followed by Cecil McKenzie, 22 CF 5171.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
I don't see it in the file. What date was it filed?
Yesterday, Your Honor.
Thank you. Marquis Reed, 2022 CF 6062.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
I see a motion to transfer. Was it upgraded or downgraded?
One moment.
The state attorney, the PD's office filed a motion to transfer stating that he's charged in 2022 CF 6061AO. Can everybody look into that? And in that,
Your Honor, it appears as though in 6061, he was released ROR on the 29th. And
I'm just looking at the file.
in 6062, we filed a notice of non-filing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and grant it. O'Neill Cruz Gordilas, case number 2022 CF 6152.
Denied, information was filed.
All right, that concludes the 33-day motions. I'll take a brief recess, and then I will, whatever he's up with. I just need a moment. What's her case name and number, anybody? Miss Adamson, what's her client's name? Okay, I'm just gonna need about 2-3 minutes to review the affidavits.
Your Honor, I don't have those files with me as they are from the afternoon.
Okay, student, how much time do you need?
Probably about 5-10 minutes to go grab the files.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute recess. Off mic.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Mr. Webb, did you let them know who you represent so we can try to put a?
No, I don't think I actually did.
Yeah, you might
I
want
did? Okay, yes.
Okay. Did you let the trial clerk know? Okay. So,
You're ahead of me.
State and PD's office, Nicholas Tyrick, Tyrick, he has a new case. One of the charges is fleeing and attempting and driving with license suspended, but he has 2 out on bond cases that are both county court cases. I'd like to give you a global plea offer, so if you have a pen handy.
Yes.
22 CT 3535 AO. He has a driving with license suspended. I believe he is 12 days in on it, and if not, I will give him the 12 days. So that would be an adjudication time served offer. Then he also has 2022 MM 3743. He bonded on June 15th on offenses for resisting officer without violence and marijuana. On the resisting, I would adjudicate him guilty and sentence him to 10 days with credit. I believe he has credit for 2. And on the pot charge, I would withhold time serve him. What? Still take it. Here's the numbers in case you need it. And I'll just treat it as a first appearance. Otherwise, he could be detained on it because he's supposed to know. Spanish interpreter? Thank you. Back on record for session 2.
Morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barreras, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Case number 2022 CF 7529. Can you sound check Mr. Pablo Gonzalez?
Certainly, Your Honor. Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Mr. Pablo Gonzalez, do you need a public defender? defender to help you with your charges.
Correcto.
Correct.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. I find probable cause for possession of methamphetamines, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. On count one, I'll modify your bond to $500. Count two and three stay the bond. Your total bond amount is $750. Your public defender will assist you. She does not speak Spanish. She will circle a phone number. Call their office when you bond out.
Your Honor, I believe there's a second case.
I didn't know he was arrested on the no valid. Okay, do you have a no valid driver's license? I'll go ahead and release your ROR.
Give me the case number, please, Your Honor.
I don't have one.
22 CT 3567.
Does anybody else need a Spanish interpreter? Corrections?
That's all.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks. Okay, next up. All right, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. The only case I'm addressing is 22 CF 7504 for attempted first-degree murder. What says the state as far as release conditions, if any? I'll appoint the public defender for the record.
It is punishable by life, Your Honor. State asked defendant be held no bond.
Any objection, defense?
No, Your Honor, and I'll waive the appearance.
No bond, no contact with any victims, witnesses, no return to the scene of the crime, and possess no weapons.
What was the reason? His mental health. And Felony is also mental health.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender in case 2022. There's a few cases. 2022 CF 57411. I'll modify resisting officer violence bond to $100. Possession of cocaine, I'll stay at $1,000. And the driving under the influence, refusal to submit to blood alcohol testing, and driving with license suspended, I find probable cause. I'll reduce those bonds to $100 subsidiary bond. Defense, are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great, thank you. After that, I have David Riles.
He refused.
All right, I'll appoint the services of the public defender, waive his appearance. I'll stay the bond at $5,000. After that, I have Shine Smith. Sir, your name, please.
Scott Smith.
Mr. Smith, do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll go ahead and address them. We're addressing case 2022 CF 6591AO. Probable cause has been found for attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder, throwing a deadly missile into an occupied vehicle, and possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent. What says the state as far as release conditions, if any? He's entitled to bonds on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, but what about count 1?
Your Honor, count one is punishable by life. At this time, the state asked defendant be held no bond.
What says defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Give me one moment to check something else out. Sir, I'm going to find proof evident presumption great for purposes of a first appearance. You'll be held at no bond on count 1, the attempted murder. On counts 2 and 3, I'm setting your bond at $25,000 per count. On the throwing a deadly missile, your bond is set at $2,500. And on the possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent, your bond is $5,000. I'm showing that you may have other cases open, so give me a moment. And I'll write it down for you, Madam Trial Clerk. You're not to have any contact with any of the witnesses or victims named in the affidavit. That's another way of saying the arrest report. Additionally, you're not to have any weapons. If you have any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail. And no return to the scene of the crime. Corrections, is 2022 CF 1496 AO an Orange County court case?
That's a,
Oh, it is Orange County. So let me go ahead and address that. You have a public defender in case number 22 CF 1496 with a court date coming up, I circled it for you, of July 12th. And it looks like these events preceded it, so I'll take no action on it. PDs. Your name, please?
Tony Johnson.
Give me just a moment. All right, appearance in case number 2022 CF 2650AO.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mauricio Webb on behalf of Mr. Johnson, who's standing to my right.
Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Webb, you're here addressing a criminal charge. Mr. Johnson, probable cause has been found for robbery with a firearm and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. State what's your position on release conditions on counts 1, 2, and 3?
No position, Your Honor.
On counts 2 and 3, he is entitled to a bond, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you seeking that he be held at no bond on count 1?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, it is a PBL. What are you recommending then?
I am not, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Webb, go ahead and tell me what you're seeking.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask the court to impose some bond conditions. By way of context, my client has no prior record whatsoever. He's 22 years old. He is a scholar athlete. He plays basketball at UCF. He is 2 classes away from receiving his bachelor's. His girlfriend is mentioned in the affidavit. They've been dating 9 months. Her name is Tiffany Hilton. She is a musician. They are both young people. She has a lot of followers because she's a musician. She has approximately 150,000 TikTok followers. She's got music on iTunes and all that. They are young people getting used to, they're learning how to deal with getting a little more attention than the average person does. My client thought that he was being harassed, that they were being recorded. He did not have any intent to take anyone's phone and deprive them of that. Now, it does appear from looking at the charging affidavit that the owner of the phone told police that in fact he was not recording anyone, that was a misunderstanding. And I'm told that this happened some days ago. I'm told that afterwards everybody shook hands about it and made peace about it. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I would also point out his ties to the community beyond being a scholar athlete with
You want to get
UCF.
some testimony on that?
Say again, Your Honor, please.
Would you like to get some sworn testimonies to his ties to community rather than argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, here's your witness.
All right. Tell me, please, where your mother and father live and what do they do?
My mom lives in Eufaula, Alabama, as well as my father. My dad owns his own business as far as siding and guttering. My mom manages a financial institution.
And I understand that you've got 2 uncles here in Florida, one in Orlando, one in Jacksonville. Could you tell the court about those?
My uncle here in Orlando is a Harvard real estate attorney, Harvard grad real estate attorney. He owns a lot of properties here. My second uncle, him and his wife does insurance in Jacksonville, Florida. Not a flight risk at all.
And could you tell the court, please, your connection to UCF? What do you do?
I'm on NBA draft boards. I play play basketball there. I'm in a lot of different things on campus. I go and mentor younger kids at the Boys and Girls Club. I have a lot of community service hours.
Where are you in your studies?
I have 2 more classes left before I graduate. I'm supposed to start classes, actually in classes right now, and we are in summer basketball workouts as of right now.
Thank you. I have no further questions right now.
Any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Where will he be staying if he's released from the UCF basketball team and no longer a student based on these allegations, Mr. Wood? I'll give you a moment to confer.
Oh, Your Honor, did the court say after he's done with schooling, or?
No, I'm familiar with UCF student policy as well as some of the local ones around here. This charge may remove him or reject him from the basketball team or being a student. If that happens, where will he live?
They picked me up from yesterday.
Okay, he's got an apartment locally where he lives, and that's, would be his intent to stay there if he had to sever.
It's not student housing, correct?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state any, I'm gonna set, since I haven't heard anything else from the state as far as amounts, I'm going to set bond at $5,000 on count 1, and on counts 2 and 3, $150 and $150 for a total of $5,300. Mr. Johnson, you are not allowed to possess any weapons while this case is pending. If you have any, that includes ammunitions, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. You're also to have no contact with the victims and no return to the scene of the crime, which I'm seeing is the Julian Apartments. Anything else from the state?
Nothing from the state.
Anything else from defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have nothing further. May I be excused?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and switch and do some arraignments.
Vienna Glass is medical.
Glass has a public defender. Shall I enter a plea of not guilty and set in 82?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pretrial will be July 26th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 9B for offices.
After that, I have Danielle Latu, case 22 MM 4308. Are you Mr. Latu?
Hello.
You have a public defender representing you. You're here for a charge of criminal mischief. What says defense?
I have Bailey Ryder. Sorry.
Defense counsel.
I will enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Is this the only thing holding him?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So actually, this is a regional conflict case now. So it'll stay in Division 63, enter a plea of not guilty because of the conflict. Pretrial date?
No.
It's staying in, let's see it.
August 4th at 1 o'clock in courtroom 10B.
Robert Lloyd's is next. Case number 22 MM 3500. Anything else holding Mr. Lloyd?
I'm saying it's moving on.
Roberts?
Because I don't know.
No, Your Honor, just this case.
Sir, you're here for a charge of battery. This is a misdemeanor of the first degree. You have a public defender assisting you, defense counsel. Is there a time served offer on this case?
No, Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Enter plea of not guilty, Division 80, please.
I'm sorry,
July
Judge.
25th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 9C.
You said July 25th?
Correct.
Thank you.
That's your next.
And then I have Robert Lloyd Watson.
That's the next. Yes.
Lloyd Roberts, and then there's Robert Lloyd Watson. Okay, thank you, sir. What's your name, sir? Mr. Watson, you have a public defender. You're here for charges of carrying a concealed weapon. Defense, is there a time served offer?
Yes, Your Honor, and additionally, he has a city case that I wanted to see if we could resolve as well. The state had no objection.
What's the case number?
2022 MO 685 AO, I believe.
What's the global recommendation?
An adjudication of guilt, credit time served. There is a $10 filing fee included with the court cost, Your Honor, for the city case.
It's time served on both?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Watts, yes.
There is also a cost of investigation of $114.43 to Orlando PD. That is with regard to 22 MM 3793. I'd also ask for a no return to that 7-Eleven located at 124 West Pine Street.
Okay, I'll do all that. Sir, case 22 MO 685 AO, do you plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty to the charge of open container? And how do you plead to the charge of carrying a concealed weapon in case, in your other criminal charge? You're gonna need to speak up a little bit so I can hear you.
No contest.
Okay, do you understand what no contest means?
Time served. Time served.
Okay, no contest means you're not admitting it or denying it, you just believe it's in your best interest to finish your case. Is that what you would like to do today? Mr. Watson, did you read the plea form that your attorney has in front of her and you?
Yes.
If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it. What's the time served on the MO? The calculation for the MO, credit time served.
Then put both on the same.
Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes.
You understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand that by saying no contest, that means you will not have a trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No.
Corrections? 25 days. All right, in both cases, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served, which is 25 days. You'll be released on both these court cases. In the MM case, no return to the 7-Eleven, you owe an additional $114, cost of investigation to Orlando Police Department. In both of these cases, I will give you 1 year to pay or 1 year to set up a payment plan with the clerk of court. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, that concludes your case. Thank you, Mr. Watson. Oh, 25. After that, I have Pevis, Omar Pevis. Pevis, sir. What says, is he being brought up? All right, I'll go ahead. Should I waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want me to set him to plea in my division on Monday, July 5th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Set to plea Division 63 on July 5th at 10 a.m. Defense, please let your counterpart know, Ms. Siciliano, in my division, that she's probably going to need to do a transport order. All right, the next person is Virginia Davis. After that, I have Defendant Lafferty. In Mr. Lafferty's trespass case, 2022 MM 4355, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Based on it being behavior, I'll waive his appearance, stay the bond at $500.
Your Honor, I ask for no return to the location.
He has a trespass order. So I'll stand silent on that. Maxine Michel. Inmate number 220150003. He bond.
Maxine Michelle, he bonded.
Thank you. After that is Giovanni Williams. Mr. Williams, good morning. You're here in case 22 MM 93 AO for a charge of trespass. It's a misdemeanor of the second degree. You do have a bond. It's $200. Do you want a plea offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the offer is an adjudication, 4 days with credit for 2. No return to the Maitland address.
There is also a cost of investigation of $67.94 to Maitland PD.
Yeah. So
Thank you, State.
in this case?
This is my
I'm just trying to see, he said that he came from Seminole. He's already been in on the charge, Your Honor,
I'll-
for 49 days, so I was trying to figure that out.
I'll do it as a credit time served, regardless. I'll modify.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you some questions, Mr. Williams. If at any point you need a public defender, please let me, excuse me, if at any point you need to confer with your lawyer, let me know. Did you read this plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
And what's the highest grade that you completed in school?
I got my GED.
All right, and you understand we will not have a trial based on your, based on any pleas?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the offense of trespass, which was alleged to have occurred on or about April 13th? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
All right, you're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to credit, time served, no return to the scene of the crime, and you owe $67.94 to the Maitland Police Department, as well as court cost you of 1 year to pay. Do you have any questions?
How much money you said?
Around $350.
Okay.
Real paper.
Thank you. Vincent Dones is next. I'll appoint the services of the public defender to assist him. There may be, and then he has a violation of probation. I'm going to address that now. 2021 MM 2881AO. I'm going to do an on view, hold him at no bond. I'll stay the bond on this disorderly conduct, appoint the PD on both cases, and waive his appearance. There you go, ma'am. Devon Neely. Mr. Neely, you're here for an open container charge. I'm going to reduce your bond, but if you want to resolve it today, I'll do a time-served offer with a withhold.
Thank you.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need a lawyer?
No, ma'am.
How do you plead to the crime of open container? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
Absolutely not, ma'am.
And if you were on probation as of yesterday for any other crimes, do you understand that your probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If, read that plea form. Once you're done and you agree to it, go ahead and sign it, please.
The X's.
For the record, he signed it in open court. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit for time served. You do owe court costs. I'll give you 1 year to make payment on that. You'll be released on these charges today. Do you have any questions? It's a credit time served sentence.
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too, sir. Danielle Dawson, good morning. Are you Mr. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Dawson, you're here for a charge of driving with license suspended as a subsequent offender. I'm going to reduce your bond, but I do find probable cause. Your bond is now $1,000. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges? That's a lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Thank you.
Ma'am.
So it's 100.
Yes?
Is it where I can resolve this today?
It's a felony charge. I cannot accept a plea on it, but you might be able to resolve it by trying to get a valid license,
Yeah, that's
but
what
I can't do that today.
Oh, how would I go about doing that?
Call your attorney.
You have lawyers and they can assist you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. After that, I have Michael Gonzalez. I'll appoint the services of the public defender, waive his appearance, stay his bond at $500. After that, I have Shaquila Henderson. Travis Herndon. Mr. Herndon, good afternoon. You're here for a charge of no valid driver's license. You do have some criminal history, so on this case, I will modify your bond to $100. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Actually,
Travis Herndon.
his
Oh,
last
there was an
offense,
offer, sorry.
Adjudication.
I was confused. Sorry. Your Honor, there was an offer of an adjudication of guilt credit time served to resolve the no valid.
okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
Defense counsel, do you have a pen handy?
Yes, Your Honor.
In case 2022 TR 8904,
You said GR?
TR, traffic. You don't need to do anything. 22 TR 8904AO. If you file a motion, I'll go ahead and dismiss the case. You need to file the motion, though. Call it a global relating and put down the CT case number.
Thank you.
Sir, how do you plead to a charge of no valid driver's license? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that we will not have a trial in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your probation will be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of the state, you'd be civilly committed. Do you understand that too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're adjudicated guilty, given credit for time served. You'll be released on this case today. You have 1 year to pay your court costs. You don't need to do anything. I'm making them do the motion. Your name, please.
Joycelyn Lopez.
Ms. Lopez, you're here for a charge of driving under the influence. You do also have an open Orange County court case. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new driving under the influence?
Please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I'm going to stay the bond. But because you're already out on bond and other charges, you're not to commit any new offenses, so I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Pardon me?
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
You're going to be held in the Orange County Jail with no bond for the charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts, and battery, stemming from your arrest on April 24th. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Your attorney can confer with you after court. John Austin Sanders is next.
Bonded.
Thank you. After that, I have Edric Barrero Cedino. Good morning, sir. You're here for a violation of your pretrial release conditions in case number 2022 CF 4508. Contact your attorney, let them know that you're in jail. You're being held at no bond because you committed a new offense, allegedly, of no valid driver's license in Palm Beach County, Florida.
Who is this?
Edric.
Edric Barrero Cedino.
Daniel.
Okay. You're being held at no bond. Thank you, sir. Daniel Henry Browning.
Medical.
Reset to within 24, actually, on that case, he has 2022 CF 4993. I'll go ahead and stay those bonds. In case number 2022 MM 4349, I'll reduce that bond to $100. No contact with the victim, no return to the scene of any crimes. Appoint the public defender, and shall we waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. After that, I have Mr. Clayton.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clayton, do you need a public defender to help you with your new criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. PD's office, you already represented him and is out on bond. I find probable cause for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. I'll go ahead and stay those bonds. Your total bond there is $5,150. State any objection to me revoking and giving him a new bond on the other cases?
No objection, Your Honor.
In case 2022 CF 2656AO, I'm going to revoke your release. I'll give you a new bond. Count one, it's $2,000. Count two, it's $200 for a total of $2,200. Thank you, Mr. Clayton. Victor Clute is next. Your name, please. Mr. Clute, you were arrested for a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. Do you need a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint them to help you. I find probable cause your bond is $2,500. I'm also ordering that you not possess any weapons, which includes firearms and ammunition. If you have any, surrender them to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Charles Foster is next. Good morning, Mr. Foster.
Good morning,
Are you Mr. Foster?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Foster, you're here in case 1989 CF 7548. You missed your court date, so you're being held at no bond status for charges of dealing in stolen property and uttering forgery. Specifically, you missed your court date back in December of 2006. I'm going to appoint, do you need a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you?
Well, Your Honor, if I can speak to the court.
Let me let you speak with your attorney first. Do you want a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am, I sure would, cause I done did this time.
All right, I'll go ahead and,
Mr. Foster.
Prison on this.
all right, I'll appoint the public defender, and hopefully they can clear this up. We also have a couple of other cases for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts, resisting officer without violence, and case numbers 89 CF2 9280 and 6683. So I have to stay those bonds.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait. Speak with the attorney. I'm gonna put a note in there.
Just let him know what's going on.
No, you're gonna have a different.
Was he just
I'm gonna let them know.
released from DOC?
You said you
No, yeah.
were in, where were you?
I believe it was in 2000.
It's been a long time.
2000.
All right, so you'll be incarcerated, so they know where to find you, and you can just communicate with them. Thank you. No, other way. Anna Hammett is next.
Speak for the court defender because what I got picked up on, I didn't even know I had a warrant, and then the drugs that they charged me with was found on the ground.
Okay, well, do you want to, everything you say is being recorded, and I know you think it may be helpful, but they could also be used as admissions or statements against your interest.
Yeah, I didn't have anything on me,
Do
though.
you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll appoint the services of the public defender. So she has 3 different cases. In case 22 CF 7513AO, I find probable cause for possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamines, and possession of drug paraphernalia. In all of those charges, I'll stay the bond. She also has a new charge, case number 2022 CF 4358AO, for fleeing and attempting to elude, which was alleged to have occurred on April 14th. Based on the facts and the subsequent offense, I'm going to increase that bond to $2,500. And finally, she has an out on bond case, 2022 CF 4040. I'm going to revoke her release on those, but I'll give her a new bond. On count 1, set bond at $2,500. Count 2, bond is $200. You can speak with your attorney after court. Thank you.
Okay, can I bond out? She said she's revoking. So I can.
Timothy Johnson is next. Mr. Johnson, good afternoon. You're here in case 21 CF 7712AO for a charge of battery, and you missed your court date allegedly. Do you already have a lawyer?
No.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. You'll remain here on no bond status. Michael Kearse is next. Are you Mr. Kearse?
Yes, ma'am.
his last offense in 2016? Corrections? Will he qualify for PTR?
Can we do, bond or PTR?
Sure. Mr. Kearse, you're here for a charge of possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to stay the bond. Your total bond is $1,100. In the alternative, I'll put you on pretrial release. If you could give corrections a valid address if you want pretrial release. Thank you, Mr. Kearse. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
They're gonna come this time.
Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office? Is that a yes or a no? Okay, I'll appoint them. Call them when you're released from jail. Antonia Lemon. I'm only addressing the case number 2022 CF 7523. I'll appoint the public defender as he has them in related cases. And you're here for an add-on charge of dealing in stolen property. I'll modify that bond to $150. Thank you, Mr. Lemon. Nathan McCall is next. What? Is what? Thank you.
I'm sorry, and Your Honor, in the previous case for Michael Kurtz, the bond on PTR, did you order any conditions?
They just,
No?
Nathan McCall? Come on forward. Mr. McCall, you're here for charges of possession of cocaine and possession of a controlled substance. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case? I'll go ahead and appoint them to represent you. Your bond total is $1,100 or pretrial release if you qualify. Thank you, Mr. McCall. Stay in touch with your attorney.
there you go.
Deandra Medley is next.
Outside medical?
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause. I'll stay the bonds as listed. Defense waive.
Yes, Your Honor.
After that, I have Miguel Molina. Are you Mr. Molina? Good afternoon, Mr. Molina. You're here for a charge of criminal mischief with damage greater than $1,000. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Your bond is stayed at $1,000. You're to have no return to the scene of the crime, no contact with any witnesses or victims. Thank you. Tyreek Nichols.
Yeah.
Defense, I'll give you a moment to speak with him about his out on bond and the global offers on the misdemeanor case and the CT case.
And Your Honor, just so I have it correct, on the resisting, on the resisting, it's an adjudication, 10 days with credit.
For one.
And then on the driving while license suspended, it's an adjudication, credit time served, 12 days.
Yes. He also has a pot charge, so I would do a withhold, credit time served.
You have time served on the 12 days, the driving while license suspended?
Yeah, he does. Corrections, are you showing the time served? He was booked like on the 14th and then bonded like on the 20, like.
I have to look it up.
What?
I have to look it up.
Okay.
To see. Which cases are you seeing now?
22 CT. 53, I'm sorry, strike that. 3535 AO.
Okay.
He was served the warrant on June 16th, and he filed bond on June 24th. I'm sorry, June 28th.
I know what you're saying. What I'm saying.
He was arrested on June 16th and he was released June 17th. Yes, 2 days. On the 3535 case,
Showing the bond, okay.
he bonded and was released on June
Oh.
17th.
I was saying state to make a filing decision. I don't know what's going on with this one.
Defense counsel, I miscalculated. I went by the date, by the wrong date. He is 2 days in plus
2 days.
two,
3535.
2 days plus, he was arrested. And then I'll give him 2 days, so he has 4 days. I miscalculated. Wait a second. Did you look at the bond paperwork from All-Star? Because it says posted June 28th. Yeah, it's not pulling up the actual paperwork.
I just
only
see in our system, Your Honor.
I'll give him 4 days. 2 on the original, 2 on the arrest from last night.
That's what that means. You're saying state to make a filing decision, you have an attorney on it.
Still an intake.
Right, yeah, because I think that's why. So what do you want to do? Your Honor, so he has one other, I believe, driving offense, and I'm not sure if that's gonna habitualize him, if he pleads to the driving. As far as 22 MM374.
His other offense is a no valid DL, so
Okay,
that
so it
would
won't
go towards habitualization. This is his first DWLS strike.
Okay, he thought he had another one, that's why. Okay, so this won't habitualize.
I looked at his DL.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we can do that. Can you focus for a second? Hold on, let me. And then, Your Honor, as far as the 22 MM3743 AO, from my system, it was saying the state was
I would treat it as a first appearance detainer.
okay.
What?
So do you want to?
Because it does technically detain him, or I could revoke his release.
She can revoke you and hold you.
He bonded.
You want to do both? Okay. He'll. They're misdemeanors.
All right.
Let me fill this out really quick. I'm not sure if she's going to reduce this. Do you have? Let me see. 22 CT 35358.
Your Honor, technically on the MM case, he didn't have a detainer for that one.
Yeah, but I would do it as an on-view.
Oh, okay.
And Your Honor, so with
It was just released.
just to be clear, because I don't know with the days, how many days would he have to do on all charges? Do you know? Just so he knows. I know you gave him. I don't know how much time. I didn't hear the credit.
He's not going to get any game time, so 6 days.
So he'll do 6 days. You'll do 6 days. Is that okay with you? Time served, and then.
anything else, defense counsel? Because I do have to move the docket along.
Going over the.
All right, I'll begin with case 22 CF 3535. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of driving with license suspended with knowledge? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty? I'm sorry, you'll need to speak loud enough where I can hear you.
No contest.
Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
And do you understand what no contest means?
No.
You'll need, again, clearly.
Gotta say it loud.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have case number 22 MM 3743 for count 1, resisting officer without violence. Do you plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest. No contest.
And count 2 is for possession of marijuana. How do you plead? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Sir, can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the highest grade that you finished in school?
11.
This plea form, it's, I see a signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
And counsel, I'm going to need you to sign this as well since you consulted with him.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed these crimes, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
In just a few moments, I will sentence you and convict you of the crime of driving with license suspended. If you commit a future act of driving with license suspended, do you understand that you can face felony charges, be designated a habitual traffic offender, and or a 10-day jail sentence? Do you understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed. Do you understand that too?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charge of driving with license suspended, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days with credit for 4 days time served. As to the charge of resisting officer without violence, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days. I will also give you credit for 3 days time served in that charge. And as to the charge of possession of cannabis, I will withhold time served you. You have all court costs in both of these cases. I will give you 1 year to pay all court costs. Now I'm going to address your new cases. In case 2022 CF 7176, you have a fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens activated, driving with license suspended or revoked, and providing false information to a law enforcement officer. Probable cause has been found, and the bond will be stayed. Your total bond is $7,000. I am reminding you, it is court order not to drive until you get a valid license, and that'll conclude all of your cases for today. After that is Felipe Noran Havana Espera.
It's actually like 3 last names, I'm sorry.
It's okay, so it's Noran.
It's Noronha Novaes Pereira.
Okay, sorry if I mispronounced that. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charge?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me?
Do you want a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your criminal
Yes,
charge?
yes, of course, please.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint them. How long have you been living in Winter Garden?
I've been living in Winter Garden for 4 years now.
What high school did you go to?
Windermere High School, I graduated there.
Okay. Are you working?
Yes, I currently work with my dad.
Well, he qualified. So I'm going to stay the bonds. You're here for I'm sorry, what'd you say? You're here for charges of possession of a counterfeit driver's license, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause. Your total bond is $2,700 on that case. You also have a charge of driving under the influence. That bond amount I'll modify to $100. I'm ordering, in the alternative, if you don't want monetary bond, I'll order pre-trial release with the conditions that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. Your attorney will assist you. Felipe, how often are you paid?
I'm sorry, can you repeat for me, please?
How often are you paid?
Weekly.
And what is your take-home pay after taxes and withholdings?
It's about like $600 a week.
All right. I'm going to have the PD's office help you as a friend of the court. You make too much money to qualify for the public defender. So you'll need to hire an attorney. Are you able to afford that kind of bond?
I mean, not right now.
I have the pretrial release form.
Okay, so he'll just do pretrial release. Thank you. Do PTR, just straight PTR.
But what?
All right, the next person is Emmanuel Rivera.
I'm not gonna pay anything.
No, they're gonna release you today.
Come on, but I just. But,
Are you Mr. Rivera? I can't hear you. What is it? Mr. Rivera, you were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I find probable cause. Your bond is $2,500, and you're to have no contact with the victim. After that, I have Douglas Roach. Thank you. Mr. Roach, you're here for charges of burglary of a structure and petty theft. You missed your court date, so you're being held at no bond.
But I do apologize. When was my court date scheduled?
It was on June 27th, so a couple of days ago. You're also here in case number 22MM4354 for a charge of trespass. That case has, I find probable cause. Defense, do you want to plea him out on that case?
Yes, Your Honor, what's the offer?
I'd adjudicate time served. There's a time served offer on the trespass. And no return. How do you plead to the charge of trespass on property after warning? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on now?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
And if you're not a United States citizen, do you understand you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a plea form coming my way. Did you read the plea form and sign it? This paper?
That's the paper, yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept your plea of no contest to the charge of trespass. You're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served. I'll give you 1 year to pay your court cost, and I'm ordering that you not return to the scene of the crime. Thank you. After that is Emmanuel Rivera. I'm sorry, what happened? Emmanuel Rivera, did he bond?
Emmanuel Rivera already came up.
Oh, I'm sorry, this paperwork. Juan Sanchez? Are you Juan Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for a criminal charge. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint their services. You were arrested for trafficking in fentanyl greater than 28 grams, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Your bond will be stayed at $1 million on count 1. On count 2, I'll modify the bond to $100. So your bond is $1,100,000. And that will conclude your first appearance. Thank you. After that, I have Shauna Schaefer.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. You're here in case number 2022 CF 6485, as well as an out on bond. Ms. Schaefer, do you need a public defender to help you with your new criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am, please.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender to help you with the case. You were arrested for possession of fentanyl, possession of a controlled substance, possession of burglary tools, driving with license suspended, and on the facts of this case, I'll go ahead and stay all the bonds, so your total bond is $10,000. Actually, on count 5, I'll modify that bond to $100. So your total bond is $10,550. In case number 2022 CF 5761, so you were already bonded out at the end of May on another charge. Do you want a public defender for that too?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. I'm going to revoke your bond, but I'll give you a new bond of $5,000 on that case. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Vladimir St. Louis. Are you Mr. Vladimir St. Louis?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested for a charge of fleeing and attempting to elude officer, as well as resisting officer without violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender services. You are entitled to bonds based on the facts of this case and your history. On count 1, I'm setting your bond at $3,500. And on the resisting, your bond will be $100 for a total of $3,600.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. What's your name, sir?
Mr. Vargas.
Give me one moment. What happened to Dalton Stiles? And you're Mr. Vargas?
Right.
Mr. Vargas, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause for resisting officer without violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of methamphetamines. I'll go ahead and stay the monetary bond, or pretrial release is an option.
There you go. There's your turn.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
No. Thank you for asking. After that, I have Jeremy Ward. Are you Mr. Ward?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ward, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause for possession of fentanyl, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana, less than 20 grams. I'll stay the bond. Your total bond is $1,250. Alex Williams.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
What we got down there?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It's Janelle Clark with the Public Defender's Office.
Clark?
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah,
Oh.
C-L-A-R-K-E.
Clark. Got it. That's an easy one. All right. And you are, sir?
Charles Fink for the state.
Fink?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fink Clark.
Patricia Jenkins, PTR.
You got a haircut. All right. Do we anticipate any PC challenges today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have any, anything weird that you need me to know ahead of time?
No Spanish speakers, just 2 refusals and 1 pro se.
All right. One pro se.
Yeah.
Like they don't want you?
No. Been rejected.
All right. All right. So let's go on the record. It is Thursday, June 30th, 2022. We're here for initial appearance in Osceola County, Florida. I'm Judge Madrigal. I'll be presiding today. Let's go ahead and get appearances on the record. We're going to start with the state of Florida.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Charles Fink for the state.
Janelle Clark for the Public Defender's Office. Patricia Jenkins, PTR.
And I appreciate everybody standing, but just, you can stay seated because it picks up the mic easier, I think. If we had a chair for you, Ms. Clark, we would let you sit too, but
Thank you.
yes, yes. All right, so the order we're going to go in is out of counties, then we're going to go to warrants, then we're going to new cases. Okay? All right, so the first out of county I have is Guillermo Garcia Encarnacion. Afternoon, sir. Give me your name and date of birth, please.
Guillermo Garcia, April 6, 1996.
All right, sir. I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office to assist you here. You're on an out-of-county warrant out of Polk County. The judge has set a 0 bond in that case, so, excuse me, I will stay that bond. Okay, and we'll let Polk County know. They'll come get you, okay? All right, Keith Kenneth Allen, Aline?
Your Honor, if possible, could we waive the reading of the charges in this case?
It's a VOP.
I know some judges
I-
read it, some don't.
I won't read the underlying. I understand. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Keith Kenneth Allen, 6/14/86.
All right, Mr. Aline, you're here on a violation of probation. I am going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office to represent you. Judge, well, somebody signed for Judge Young, not sure who, but they held you no bond, so I'll stay that bond. All right? Yes.
He has a VOP arraignment for July 11th.
All right. On this case or?
Yes.
Okay, so July 11th, VOP arraignment.
You just have to wait.
Thank you. All right, Shalene Mary Correa.
Yeah, I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. You wait till there's a pause. But you don't have to say.
Ma'am, your name and date of birth, please.
Shailene Correa, 10/21/92.
All right, Ms. Correa, you're here for failing to appear for a public defender pretrial. So it looks like the PD's already been appointed on your case. Judge Epperson set your bond at $1,000 when he issued the warrant. So PC's been found, bond is $1,000. Thank you, ma'am.
Next court date, August 2nd at 10:30 a.m. in courtroom 5B.
Okay. Jerron Ricardo Davis Rush.
Your Honor, although I do not have a PC argument for this case, against the advice of counsel, the defendant would like to speak to you after you discuss with him.
Please, sir.
All right. So you don't want me to appoint the lawyer?
I do, but I have an issue that I think
Alright.
was to be resolved today.
So what's your name and your date of birth?
My name is Jerron Ricardo Davis Rush, and my birthday is 10/15/1994. So.
Okay, Mr. Davis Rush, you are here on a failure to appear for an arraignment. So judge issued a bench warrant for your arrest.
And what was the arraignment for?
What was it for? Looks like the underlying charge was petty theft.
And I was released on bond from petty theft.
I assume so.
Could you check, please? Because that's the issue.
I mean, were you released on bond? Yeah, that's not the issue. I think the issue is you didn't show up after you were released on bond.
The issue is I never was arrested on this charge, period.
This was a notice to appear.
Oh, it was a notice to appear. Thank you.
If I may, I'm sorry.
It was a notice to appear.
Excuse me.
I never got a notice as well, sir.
Hold on, wait, 1 second,
It was a direct information the arraignment notice was sent out on April 29, 2022.
To what address?
The address that we have on.
I have 307 West Lancaster.
Yes, sir. I haven't been there. That's not my address. And I didn't get anything that told me to go to court that day. I just recently was in Orange County Court and I've settled something. I haven't had any problems with the law.
Well, maybe your definition of problems with the law and mine are different. It looks like
I
you
haven't
got
been
arrested. I don't know.
My last charge was a trespass in Orange County.
Okay. So I am going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Do you want to give us an accurate address here today?
I don't have an accurate address.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't had one. I've been homeless.
So since another judge issued the warrant and set your bond at $5,000, I'm going to stay that bond. You can file a motion with her and she can address that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Next court date if still in jail, July 7th. If out, August 1st in courtroom 4A at 8:15 a.m.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You're gonna do it?
You can just hear it, listen.
David James Donahue Alayan?
I mean, you just have to say the day and the time, right?
In jail, if in jail. Like there's, it has to be said.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
David James Donahue Allion, 6/27/1988.
Okay, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. I'm sorry, can you repeat?
David James Donahue Allion, my birthday 6/27/88.
All right, sir, you are here on failure to appear for a jury trial. So the judge issued a bench warrant for your arrest, set your bond at 0. I don't know if the PD's been previously appointed, Ms. Clark?
Yes, he has a.
All right, so, I mean, you remain appointed. You remain appointed. Bond set at 0. Thank you, sir.
Next court date, August 24th in courtroom 5F at 9 a.m.
All right, I got Caitlin Hall.
Approaching now.
I'm sorry.
That was my bad, Judge.
No, you're good. You're good. Name and date of birth, ma'am.
Caitlin Leanne Hall, September 19, 2001.
All right, ma'am, you are here for a violation of probation. Judge found probable cause on that. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to set your bond at 0. Thank you.
Next court date, July 13th in courtroom 4F at 8:30 a.m.
Jeremiah Hughes. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please. All right, Mr. Hughes, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark and her office to represent you on this case. You are currently here on a warrant on 3 counts: battery, dating violence, violation of pretrial release condition, and child abuse without great bodily harm. So another judge has already found probable cause for those charges. In terms of your bond, I will issue you a bond. On count 1, I'll set bond at $5,000. On count 2, $15,000. On count 3, $1,500. Just $21,500. If my math is right.
Say that one more time, Judge.
5, 15, right? And, yeah, 21.5. Also order you to have no contact with the victim, no return to the scene. On case 22 MM 1299, I will revoke.
Setting it at 0, Judge.
Yes. All right. Thank you, sir.
And can you tell me the bonds one more time? Count 1.
I think it was
5,000.
5,000, 15,000, and 1,500.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Marlon Dwayne Lawson. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Marlon Lawson, 12/17/2002.
All right. Mr. Lawson, how are you doing today?
Good.
All right, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office. I think they may already represent you on this. You're here on a violation of probation. Excuse me. So I'm going to find probable cause for the violation. I'm going to set your bond at 0. Thank you, sir.
Next court date, July 11th in courtroom 5F at 8:45 a.m.
Okay. Josiah Moises Martinez Colon. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Josiah Martinez Colon, October 3rd, 1981.
All right, so sir, you are here on a violation of probation. I'm gonna find, or another judge has already found probable cause. On that, they set your bond at 0. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to assist you if they've not already been appointed on. They're already appointed? All right. All right, thank you, sir.
Next court date, July 5th, in courtroom 5A at 9 a.m.
Tuesday. All right, Jemiah Moore.
Jemiah Moore, 12698.
All right, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office to represent you on this case. You are here on 4 counts, I believe. 4 counts. Another judge has already found probable cause for the 4 counts. The count 1 is robbery by sudden snatching. Second one is petty theft. Third one is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Fourth one is battery. I'm going to find, well, somebody already found probable cause, so I'm going to give you the following bonds. On count 1, 5,000. On count 2, 1,500. Count 3, 3,500. Count 4, 2,500. I didn't do the math, so you guys add that up for me. I'm going to order you to not have any contact with the victims and no weapons of any kind, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Manuel Calles. There's 2 cases.
Yes, sir.
Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Well, Kaya is 11/23/87.
All right, Mr. Calles, I am going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you on this case. You're here on 2 different cases. First one is for giving a false name or identification by an arrestee. The second one is for battery. Just give me 1 second. Is the battery case a warrant case? Because I don't have a narrative, but it mentions it's a warrant case on the first case.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, so another judge has already found probable cause on the battery. I don't have a copy of the warrant, so it's going to be difficult for me to set bond on that. On the second case, I'll find probable cause for the false name or ID. I will set your bond at $500 on that count, or that case, I should say. And just give me 1 second to review the warrant on the first one. Can I get a history while we're waiting?
He don't have any history here in Florida, Your Honor, but in Philadelphia, between 2007 until 2022, simple assault, terrorist threat, theft by unlawful taking, carrying a firearm, reckless endangerment, simple assault, DUI.
Never been convicted of none of that stuff.
Escape, violation of probation, and he have an active warrant out of Philadelphia.
He currently does?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to set your bond on the DV case at $1,500. Order no contact with the victim. No return to the scene, no weapons of any kind.
Next court date for 2020 MM 1452 and 2020 MM 1403 on demand.
Are you from West Philadelphia or just Philadelphia? Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
And there was no contact?
No contact, yes. You a guy from West Philadelphia. He was born and raised there. He used to hang out at a playground a lot. Shooting hoops. Outside of the school. Lonnie Hammond.
He refused, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to reset him to tomorrow or you want to be appointed and waive?
We could have, be appointed and waive, qualifies for direct PTR.
No, he doesn't. Or,
Oh, well, not if he doesn't show up, then I think we should set that for tomorrow then.
all right. No, he doesn't qualify for direct PTR according to this. Because he's out on ROR.
Oh, she didn't get the new one?
I think they have.
I sent a new one
I
over.
put it, but she reprinted.
Ooh, I have the wrong one, or she has the wrong one? I have
We sent a new one over.
Madrigal's got the wrong one.
You could scratch, I got the new one here. He qualifies for direct PTR. They didn't take in the computer, it's stating that he's still out on ROR. They didn't close the case.
So that case is closed?
Yes, sir.
So 22 CF 1947 is closed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. Do you waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Have I had him before? Lonnie Hume? Do I have one of my other cases? I'm gonna order he be. I'm gonna find PC on 2 counts of possession, controlled substance without prescription, possession of use of drug paraphernalia, release ROR, or sorry, PTR on both counts. No drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription.
Pretrial release is telling me that if he doesn't show up, they still won't release him if he refused to come.
Oh, is that? Okay. So why don't we reset him till tomorrow?
Yeah, let's reset him. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll reset him till tomorrow. Lead Ibrahim.
Judge, just verify for Mr. Hammond, are you still finding PC anyways?
We're gonna
reset it.
reset till tomorrow. Yes.
Khalid Ibrahim, 1962, August 5th, 1962.
All right. Sir, you are here on 1 count of battery, domestic violence. I am going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to set your bond at $100 with PTR. I'm going to do no contact at this time. I understand they want contact. I'm going to do no contact. And we brought in front of the division judge. No weapons of any kind either.
Next court date on demand.
I'll do maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Paul Johnson.
Paul Johnson, August 8th, 1986.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark and her office to represent you. You're here on failing to leave a property upon order to trespass. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. Any history of FTAs?
None.
No, sir.
Okay.
Wait a minute, in '08, he had one in 2008.
In 08?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, is it possible with his minimal history and the low-level charge that he could be released on his own recognizance?
That's what I was about to do, so yes.
Sorry, Judge.
Yeah, no worries. I'll ROR him on that. No return to the scene.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Samuel McElhaney.
Pro se, Your Honor.
Oh. Oh, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Samuel McElhaney, August 27th, 1994.
All right, sir, you are here on 2 different cases. The first case is for driving with a license suspended or revoked. The second one is for grand theft auto. I do find that there is probable cause for both those charges. Was there something you wanted to say ahead of time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set your bond on count 1. I'm going to PTR him on count 1. or case one, I should say, I'm sorry. On case two, the grand theft auto, I'll set his bond at $250 with PTR. Order you to not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir, I understand.
So you want to direct them on
Direct him on the
driving?
driving, and then the grand theft, what did I say, $250 with
You
PTR?
want bond with PTR on that?
On with PTR, yeah.
And the no driving without a valid license,
Straight PTR
you want that on the Willis charge?
on both.
Next court date for 2020, CT 2158, July 26th, in courtroom 5B at 8:30 a.m. And for 2020, CF 1883, next court date on demand.
Next one I have is Moises Ramos. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Moses Ramos, 11/26/82.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office to represent you on this case. You're here on 2 counts. First one is committing domestic battery by strangulation. Second one is simple domestic battery. Find probable cause for both those charges. I am going to order you be released on the following bonds. On count 1, the strangulation, $15,000. On count 2, the battery, $5,000. Total monetary bond will be $20,000. I'm going to order you to not have any contact with the victim, to maintain a separate residence. You'll be allowed a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. No weapons of any kind, and no alcohol either. Okay? Thank you.
Next court date on demand.
Michael Salgado,
He refused also, Your Honor.
you want to reset him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Those are 2 cases, right?
Yes.
The last one I have is Dave Jimenez, who I think is a re-IA from yesterday. Or maybe he's a, maybe he's a new
Charge.
added charge.
Yes, sir.
Are both added charge or just one?
Both.
Okay. All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Dave Jimenez, January 2nd of 2000.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint Ms. Clark in her office to represent you on this case. I don't have a face sheet. Is he out on anything, or is he?
Oh, this is the only face sheet they sent us, because when they added charges, because he's already in jail, he haven't gotten out, and so when they send it, they just do it like this.
Does he have any? Oh, so we don't have the one from yesterday? Okay. All right, sir, you're here on 2 cases. The first one is for violating an injunction, stalking injunction. Second one is criminal mischief. Is it a stalking injunction I issued? You ever met me before, except for yesterday?
No, just yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't, your name doesn't ring a bell except for yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It was under Judge Snare.
Judge Snur? No. Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond on the violation of the stalking injunction at $25,000. On the criminal mischief, I will ROR him on that.
Do you find PC on it?
I find PC on both. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to order you no contact with the victims, no return to the scene of the criminal mischief, and no weapons.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor. Could I ask you to find an on-view violation of probation on 22 MM 528?
That's what I was asking, if he's out on anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
No, is he, so, to give a little more detail.
Yes, so 22 MM 528 is,
They already did the on-view, yes, just actually today. They did his on-view already.
they what?
The probation already did an on-view for the case that he was seeing yesterday for.
Did I do it, or did?
You did it.
Okay.
He has a felony case that he was here in IA's for yesterday, and yesterday they let Judge Madrigal know that he was out on probation for 22 MN 528. So he violated him yesterday and did that on you today.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I don't remember doing the on-view today. Oh, really? Okay, that's the last one I have.
Okay, Your Honor, we couldn't hear any of that, so he was on probation and,
Yeah, but that was already addressed, so we're not addressing that today.
all right, thank you, Your Honor.
There's nothing on that today. All right, thank you.
Next court date for 22 MN 1455 and 1456 on demand.
Thank you. Take care. Happy July 4th.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Thank you to all of my patrons, members, and supporters. You are the reason that I am able to upload new bond courts daily. All members and patrons receive access to the bond court Discord server. Please send me a message on Patreon or leave a comment on YouTube if you are unable to join the server. Thank you all for your support.